Greetings and salutations. Welcome, one and all, to another amazing week of Olympus Rises, where I, your host, Jordan, aka Mankey Games and the Internet, take you on a wonderful adventure through the stars, through the lens of the game system, Stars Without Number, with the help of my fantastic crewmates. I'm glad you all could be here today. Today is a very special day. We are currently doing this particular stream for Roll20Con, hooray, which is both yesterday and today. This just happened to fall in our normal time slot, so it worked out even better. And we're glad you all could be here. A special message to everyone out there. If you were thinking about supporting the stream today, I strongly suggest that instead of you doing that, you go and you support Roll20Con. I am going to have a command up that is going to play every so often so that everybody can see it and everybody can go help Roll20Con and through them Cybersmile HQ, which is a charity that's dedicated to assisting the victims of cyberbullying. So it's a very great cause, something very near and dear to all of our hearts, I'm sure, as we are all gamers and all have done things online at some point in time. And it's just a really, really good place to donate. It is one of the few charities that I regularly donate to. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started, and we'll see what else is going on today with the rest of the crew. And it appears that everybody except for Matt, who is going to be just a few minutes late, I think, is here, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
They're like, they got a smile, and they get like, their fingers are all like, they got the soft and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then like my picture's up there, and I got like snot hanging out of my nose, and there's tears coming out of my face. Don't put my picture up there, please.
Attractive.
Yeah.
That's good, that's good.
So I don't go to that Buffalo Wild Wings anymore.
You can't show your face there any longer.
No. Hello, Jordan.
Hello.
That's a great place to end the conversation.
Did you come in with snot down my nose,
Yep.
tears?
That is.
Yeah, it's good, that's good.
That is precisely the moment I entered the conversation.
Perfect.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. Glad you all could be here.
Yeah.
Hope you all are as excited as I am for this
I am.
wonderful session we are going to have.
Let me preface this real quick.
Yes.
There may or may not be some brief breaks in the internet. If it gets too bad, I do have a backup plan, but it hasn't been a problem yet, so we should be okay.
Okay, that's good. That's fine, I'm sure. Matt is going to be slightly late due to science, he says, so I'm sure he will be here momentarily, though. And we're getting started a little late because while I love to be prepared, I never am. And I had to throw a few things together last minute. Couple of notes today. You'll all notice there's a new character token, not because there's a new player, but because Matt edited this wonderful, beautiful character token, which is going to represent
and it's awesome.
represent Oha in any future.
Yeah, his wife. She's pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie.
Represent her in any future engagements that require her to have a token. So there you go. There we go. That's what I wanted. So that's fantastic. We'll start with Devin, who has already revealed something to me that I was previously unaware of. But Devin, how have you been, sir? What's been going on? Tell us all about it.
Thursday evening, well, I got out of work, drove up to Orlando, and I'm now living in Orlando.
Cool.
Started work Friday morning up here, so I am happy back home. So no longer living in the hell that is South Florida.
Now you are just in the purgatory that is Central Florida.
Hey, purgatory is much better than hell.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think I would rather know what I'm getting into as opposed to being stuck in the middle.
Oh no, because you don't know what you're getting into. It's like you're living in chaotic evil.
Yeah,
there is no plan.
it's true.
But no, it's good. I'm happy staying at a friend's house now, and hopefully moving to an apartment soon. Which I just kind of came in, took over their guest room, and set up my desktop computer. So yeah.
Sick.
But other than that, business as usual, I would suppose, which is nowhere near usual. So.
Right, yeah, no, definitely not business as usual. Have you actually started at your new job, or is that tomorrow?
Funny story. I was told to show up Friday at 9, so I showed up Friday at 9. I was done working at 9:30 and got paid for 8 hours.
Excellent. So
Yes.
off,
Like a great
off to a
job.
good start then, huh?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's the way that the client has things set up right now, which I guess the better term would be the way the client does not have anything set up right now. Is kind of strange, and I should get a more clear picture of what my job will be Monday.
Gotcha.
Is this
Tomorrow.
private security? Or is that
Private
what
security, yeah.
you said? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Sounds like you have had a quite eventful week/weekend.
Yeah.
Will, hi, hello.
Hello.
Uh,
Yeah, my week's been alright. Let's see. Steam sale.
yeah, how much money did you drop?
It was really cheap. It was only like 40.
How many games did you get for $40?
Quite a lot. Like 10, 12.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, so Devin, you can actually
Yeah.
participate in Steam sales now. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, you have till
Yeah.
June 5th. You have 10 more days. So get on that.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
I did save over 80 pounds. So,
What's
nice.
that in real currency?
It's just about $40.
over 100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure for those of us that might have been confused.
Yeah. That's good. But yeah, as I said on Friday, there's many games that really jumped out at me, unlike previous summer sales. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
a
I've
lot
gotta
of
buy
the
this and
stuff,
this and this.
a lot of the stuff that I was looking at was not new titles, but like a bunch of like the DLCs and expansions and season passes are what I am
Yeah.
looking at mostly. Because for some reason I feel like there just hasn't been a whole lot of great games since the last sale where I picked everything up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there isn't enough to really interest me. Hero 7 was a great buy at $17 though. I'm gonna get a hell of a lot of fucking time out of that. Again, it's very niche. I don't think I'll ever play it on stream just because it's actually really boring. As games go, but it's kind of like a nice grind to kind of just monotonously listen to music or watch somebody else and play. So, I don't know, maybe there's an interest for it. Can't call it. Don't know for sure. We'll see. Anything else?
Will we though?
Besides the Steam sale?
No. This week's been kind of quiet, so more relaxing than anything. So that's good.
That's good. Fantastic. I like relaxing weekends. Partner in crime. Hi, hello.
Hi, hello.
Uh,
I didn't do anything since we last talked except play Divinity.
well, considering that it was less than... Jesus. Wasn't even really that long ago, to be honest. Less than 30
couple
hours.
of hours.
Less than 30 hours since we last spoke. Tell us about that. Tell us about what happened there.
Well, we finished the game, which is what we set out to do. Final boss took us 5 hours.
Yeah,
4
something like that.
hours, something stupid like that. But we did it, and now we'll never, ever, ever do it again.
Yeah, no, I will never play that game on tactician mode ever again.
True.
Game
my
is brutal.
Steam sale list consists of 2 games.
Only 2?
And that's it so far. I know, right? I don't know what else to buy. Ultimate Chicken Horse and The Witness, man. Those are the only 2. And I'm
Yeah.
actually really excited about The Witness because I wanted to play it since it came out because I'm a huge puzzle game fan. But at $40, I just couldn't bring myself
Yeah.
to pay that for it.
Yeah, That seems
But
like
now
a
it's
lot for
half
the Witness.
off, so that seems great.
Yeah, I have other things besides Heroes. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm really thinking about getting Total War Warhammer, because they're not making any other DLC, so it's not like I'm going to miss out on anything. And the second one is coming out soon, which is unnecessary. I feel like them making an entire second game is completely unnecessary when they have a very good base game. And so I have a feeling that people who have already like begun modding the first game, because the first game came out this year? Did it come out this year or last year? Might have been like the end of last year, right?
I feel like it was super recently.
Yeah, I feel like it was. I feel like I remember seeing people.
It was not that long ago.
Right. So they're already
For a Total
coming
War
out.
Game, it's far too soon.
Absolutely. And so what I feel like is going to happen, and I don't know if they know this, but what I feel like is going to happen, the people who are invested in this game and have paid all the money for those DLCs, like full price, they're all going to be like, fuck that, I'm not buying another game. Like, I have this perfectly good game here that is not that old, you know? And traditionally, and I don't, for those of you that don't play the Total War series, none of the games are different. None of them.
Right.
They're all the
They're just
identically
reskinned.
same game.
It's
Yes.
all just reskinned.
100%. I could pull out my CD, not even like a DVR disc, but my CD that is in this drawer right here of the original Rome Total War, and it would play exactly the same as Warhammer Total War, just with different looking people. So I'm kind of thinking that if I pick that up, the modding community is already pretty sufficient. But I feel like once they begin opening that game up and kind of not updating it as frequently, mods will become way more stable. And they'll be able to do things like add in new races and new skins and all that other shit without the devs' support, because they won't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping an eye on that and doing some research, and hopefully going to pick that up. Because basically I'm buying the full game, but I get all of the things that were supposed to be in the game in the first place, right? Like, that's how I'm kind of looking at it,
That is
yeah.
Total War.
With the sale, I am buying the game at full price and getting all of the DLC, which all should have been in the game originally.
Nice.
And
yeah, that makes total sense.
and I assume that was their tactic, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
I assume that was the point, is we'll sell the game at full price, and then we will tack on this DLC, we'll trickle it out, so the people that want to spend the money on it will just be like, I can drop $10, I can drop $7, I can drop this much money on that. And then we hit the Steam sale, we reduce everything down, but still get the full price for it.
Yeah.
So, which, you know what? Great. Awesome. I am one who doesn't need to play a game right out release to have satisfaction. So, I really think I'm going to play that, especially since I have heard rumor that Matt is also strongly considering it, and it has a pretty awesome co-op mode.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I only bought the DLC this.
we're talking about Total War Warhammer.
Oh. Are we trying to rationalize the DLC policy right now?
Well, we're not. No. I was rationalizing the fact that their plan obviously was, during Steam sales, the game is still full price because they have all of this DLC tacked onto it. But I don't mind never having bought the game before paying full price for it, because it's a really good game. From every review that I've read, every party that's ever played it has said it's one of the best Total Wars out there, and I love Total War.
Yeah.
But then I brought you into the
think
conversation under the premise of it actually has a really awesome co-op mode. So I don't know if you knew that about the game.
I did not. I have honestly not paid much of any attention to it until just now, because my criteria was to not pay $120 for a game piecemeal.
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you can only pay $60 for basically the whole game, right? Like, it's like it's like you're buying a new release, and that's totally okay with me.
Yeah, and so personally, I think that's still it's just kind of grimy to punish your core fan base, like your early adopters that are, that's not me. I am not the core fan base. I'm not being punished.
Yeah.
So it's
correct.
weird that you would. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and
everything else aside, yeah, I am considering getting it, but
so
Lord knows when I would have time to actually get into that.
Right. For the co-op mode, just so you're aware as well, we operate in the same realm in the like strategic view where we're moving around the map and we take turns with the NPCs and stuff like that. But where the co-op mode gets really cool is whenever either of us does a battle, I can give you this selection of units, and you control that selection of units in the battle, even if it's my army, and vice versa. So, like, I could say, hey, Matt, you control this hero and the archers, and I'm going to control the cavalry units over here. And then we can coordinate attacks and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really, really cool how it operates like that. So, but, again, I love this series, and I obviously love Warhammer. I run an entire D&D campaign for the past 2 years in it, so obviously that's my cup of tea, but I am not terribly put out by spending $63 and getting everything the game includes, to be honest. Because it'll be like a new release for me, and I'm totally okay with that. Because we were talking too, and I think you might have missed it, is the game came out not that long ago. Like, it really hasn't been out that long. It was like Q4 last year. So, yeah. And they've already shown the second one, and which means that it's not like they're going to continue to release trickling DLCs for this one. So, I'm pretty content with possibly picking it up within the next couple of days.
Will and I, and actually Dalton, have been playing, I don't know if Will already mentioned, but Chicken Horse is fucking hysterical. Like, I almost threw up. I was laughing so hard the other night. Like, no joke. It's so funny.
Who was the biggest asshole?
God.
Wait, no, hold on. Let me rephrase. Who was the biggest asshole unintentionally?
I feel like Dalton was trying, but Will and I were still getting through it like almost every other round.
Nice.
So it's a fun game just because like it's enjoyable even if you don't score a single point, just because you get to manipulate the map every single round, regardless of whether or not you're doing well. You can still make it, it's fun.
Now, the items you get, are they random, or can you choose the items that you place every time?
So there's a couple different modes.
Okay.
So there's like a full-on creative mode where you can actually, so the basic mode, I'll say, or the whatever it's called, like party mode, is random items up to the number of players, and that changes every round. Everybody gets one pick, and it's like first person to
mechanic in Hearthstone.
Oh, okay. So you get like an option between 3 and you choose one.
Yeah, but there's no duplicates. So each round you have to like get your cursor on the one that you want and pick before everyone else does. So that's kind of fun in and of itself.
But so you can click the fastest.
Yeah, or like you can decide what you want quickest and get to it, and then so each round for the basic mode works like that. But there's also like a free play and a creative mode where you can give each player between like 1 and 5 picks per round, and you get access to like the entire book worth of items. And that's what Will and I were doing yesterday, just to see what sort of crazy shit we could make. It's pretty awesome.
But another good thing is, even if you do want to be competitive, like you two jumping into a game with us two, we can put a penalty on the amount of score we get. So
yeah, you can impose a handicap before you start the game, so that like each person needs a different number of points to win. Also, there is the Twitch integration if we ever got enough people in chat for it to be worthwhile. You can have people just like say keywords in chat to vote for what items are available.
That's cool.
And it like automatically puts Twitch chat in the game for everyone to read. You don't have to look at anything else. It's kind of cool. Anyway, get it. It's $8. In summary, buy Chicken Horse.
I feel like it's been out for a while, right?
It's been out for quite some time, but they're still.
I remember seeing it, I think, at
regularly.
TwitchCon last year, which is almost a whole year ago.
Yeah, they're still adding stuff though, so it's pretty good. Like they just added, I think previously, until recently, you couldn't save levels locally, and now you can also share them with, codes. You get like a 8-digit number.
Yeah, generated code.
Yeah. It's cool. It's neat that they're still updating
seed.
it.
That's the name. That's what we're looking for. A seed.
Yeah. So you can even do.
No, it's not.
Mario
It's not a
Maker.
seed,
It's
because
like Mario
there's
Maker Worlds.
like the levels. If you generate it, that information is saved online, and then your computer pings their site and gets the information. There's not a way to encode. Like you can put up to 500 items on a map. There's no way that the seed. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it has to phone to them to get the level.
That's more like Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? Will? Say that again?
Mario Maker.
It's very much in that spirit. Yeah.
Will, just like one more time for the class.
Mario.
See, he even knew just the only word I wanted to say.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, Will. You're perfect.
Aw, you mean.
Fine then. How do you say it?
Mario?
Mo. It's an A, not a.
Mario Maker. Moving along.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. We somewhat interrupted Megan with that tangent.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, sorry.
We
But
did? I don't know, actually.
I mean, anything else
That's
besides?
fine. Go for it.
Anything else besides the most epic victory that was last night at 11:30 in the evening?
After
I mean,
12 hours of streaming.
Nothing really compares to that tidbit of information, so I think that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. For those of you who Megan may not have linked the clip for, did you go back and make this, or did Will actually do it when I asked him to?
I made it.
Okay, you're amazing. That's why you're the best mod.
And you're only mod.
Here, there you go. You guys can watch that. I suggest you turn your sound down slightly though, because we do get quite loud.
It's so loud, and I swear a lot. I'm really sorry.
Megan was swearing more than I was last night, actually. Like,
I was so upset.
I think
Oh
if we
my
have if we had a swear jar on stream, Megan's cup would be far fuller than mine.
I am the reason why Jordan's stream can't have nice things. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
At least
Meg
epic
is
encounters.
single-handedly demonetizing. the-
Yeah. At least
it's 100% my fault.
At
I
least
apologize.
Divinity Tactician mode, it is single-handedly Megan's fault. The only disappointing thing was our ending, which I did not agree with and did not like at all, because there are so many other great endings, apparently.
Yeah, that made me sad.
That made me sad. Basically, it was not in line with what we believed our characters wanted to do. So.
And also, it was just, like, actually sad. Like...
Right, yeah, that too.
But yeah.
So speaking of sad things that occurred, there were some poor helpless robots that were murdered last time on Olympus.
Dun 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 dun. I was almost upset because I thought you were about to skip it.
No. I was doing that thing that sometimes where they have like that short little like cut right before they show the openings,
yes.
the opening credits, right? The opening thing.
Yes.
I was doing that. I put the image in our minds that the robots had died, and then they were just sparking and dying on the floor. Poor innocent labor bots.
Okay, if that's what we're gonna say, poor innocent to anything that we've done in this universe, then we're doing all right.
Yeah.
Or we're horrible monsters, whichever comes first.
I think it's a little column A, little column B, to be fair.
Oh, it's a little all of the above, I feel.
But luckily, Dr. Fisher was able to pull everybody through that encounter, because honestly, I think Dr. Fisher melted like 3 of them with single shots, and was doing pretty awesome. Because he'd been training with Fortune, I think was the narrative way that we decided to tell that.
Yeah.
But in addition, there were some other interesting things. We got to know our pilot friend a little bit more. We
maybe forced people into learning about our pilot friend a little more.
Yeah, right. There was something there for sure. And really, I think that it was a good closure episode to kind of the turmoil of the last trip across the galaxy. And to be fair, now you guys have a couple of milk runs to complete, so it's going to be no problem, I'm sure. I'm certain of it.
Yeah.
So I think that let's talk about goals real quick. Does anyone have any significant goals or minor goals or intermediary goals that they have completed?
I did, I think.
All right, go. What goals did you complete?
I think because I actually made that role to now be able to assist Dr. Fisher, I feel like I have accomplished the second one, like in order to aid that process along.
Yeah, I can definitely give you. And how long have you had that goal in particular?
I think 3 sessions.
3
well,
sessions?
I guess this would be 4.
This would be 4? Okay, yeah. Certainly. I definitely think that there is more you can do with that, obviously.
And will continue to do, but I think I need another spot.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you don't want to get rid of that first one?
No, never.
You sure? Because...
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that's actually an attainable task. But you know what? Whatever. That's fine. Again, it's. I'm gonna edit.
I want to know.
I'm gonna edit this goal real quick, Megan.
No,
there.
no, please.
There. Look at the look at. I fixed it for you.
No. I'm gonna just do a quick little delete. Anyway, so how much for that?
I think that for that one, it consisted of a couple of rolls and doing some possibly uncomfortable things in the realm of things that we're doing. Plus, you have to buy him new lab rats now, because they all escaped.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Somehow.
Seriously disappeared.
Oh god, you let the one with polio escape.
It was probably Stanley. Like most likely Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you can gain 250 experience for that.
Sick, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I'm so close.
Yeah, experts. You are so close. Wow, you're really close. Almost got that level 6. Cool. Anybody else?
Nothing
Nope.
yet.
Nope.
Hopefully by the end of the session I'll have 2.
Dr. Fisher?
Yeah, hopefully next session I'll have done one.
Right. You're looking at that last one there for you, right, Dr. Fisher?
I am.
Yeah, those other ones. You're playing the long game with those.
Pulling a fortune.
I'll get to level 6 and then immediately jump to level.
Yeah, the rest of the party is going to be basically level 8, and you're going to just immediately catch up with them instantaneously. Okay, great. Covering all of the goals, let's do a quick temperature check of what's going on. So you guys are currently on. You're currently in the system. that contains the planet Sorn, which is the homeworld of the Westwind Corporation, as well as all of the individuals who are afraid of psychics. It's the Najia system. Notably as well, kind of residing here on the fourth planet, or at least on moons surrounding the fourth planet of this system, because it's not inhabitable, is the remnants of like the civilian refugees of the Tan Empire, who typically reside in 0008 over here. So we visited there a little bit, and we got some background on kind of like what's going on there. It was very refugee camp-esque. I don't really know another way to describe it accurately. They were basically living in these prefab buildings with most like limited power, limited supply. They weren't like garrisons. Like, I think certainly there is room for concern if it were ever attacked, but that's kind of why they're here, because this is the stronghold of what we would understand to be one faction in this kind of intergalactic war that's going on right now, or at least this cluster-wide war that's going on right now, in the form of the Westwind Corporation, who we got to see in action a little bit as well, in the fact that we know that the thing that Westwind has over everybody else is tech, right? They have better technology than the other groups. They just simply have more powerful ships, more powerful armaments. Where they lack is, I think, two things. One, the brutality that their opponents do. First of all, the Barba Society and the Kuchera Syndicate are no strangers to just brutal tactics and annihilation. Certainly they would not think twice about decimating an entire fleet just so they don't have to deal with it again. Westwind holds probably a pretty stricter set of morals when it comes to that. And then I think that the other aspect to consider here is that Westwind doesn't have military trained personnel as we would understand it, as perhaps maybe Fortune or Oscar would understand it. And that's kind of where the Barb Society dominates a little bit. And I think that's shown mostly in the ground game that these two opposing factions might have. The Westwind Corporation can't really take a ground engagement, because the Barba Society just outclasses them at every turn when it comes to that sort of thing. But there is something to be said, I think, for the Westwind still kind of being in as much control as they are when faced against the other two major factions within the sector. So take that for what you will.
Well, I think if you can shoot the ship out of the sky before it can drop troops, you're doing all right.
Right, and I think that's like the general goal right now, right? Is like, just don't let them land on anything important. Don't let them entrench, right? Like, if they land, glass it. And like move, wait for the next. You know, it's the air superiority complex. Like, we may not be able to fight them on the ground, but we're just not going to go to the ground.
Yeah.
So they can certainly cause good and bad things across the spectrum. Besides, I like how you named him Robert Gump Fizzle.
Well, I don't know who did that, but to be completely honest, there's no way his last name is not Gump.
Right. So I think the two NPCs of note here, or I should say perhaps four, if we're counting the two strange Tan people that you met, Oscar, you and Dr. Fisher and Oha met, who didn't really tell you a whole lot. They just had those weird, like, symbols on their foreheads, and they presented you with this data. And then, obviously, CW Fizz, and Commander Hartfield, being the two Westwind kind of security personnel contacts that you now have. So.
Yeah.
And I think that we had pretty much gotten it to the point where Oscar and Dr. Fisher and Oha had returned to the ship after their excursion. We were kind of done figuring out all the things we needed to figure out.
I do believe so.
And it was time to move on, I think. And but what? To where? I think that's the big question, right? Like, there's definitely stuff that I know that the group wants to do at 03 or 0209, which is the planet Thune. You have I think 2 kind of known tasks to complete there. One being to drop off Sarah's package, which is payment for, basically your lives at this point.
Yeah.
And the other one, Go-Go had expressed interest in making contact with somebody who might be able to help with the bounties, which seems pretty pertinent. And then there's also the vintage liquor drop-off, which is still just kind of sitting in your cargo hold, to go to 309, which is really simply just that. It's a drop-off, maybe like see what it's all about and then roll out again. The caveat to that one is the fact that the reason why it's such an expensive job and why, you need to drop off a ton of vintage liquor instead of, some bigger hauls is because there is some gravitational activity that kind of prevents a lot of shipping and trucking and import and export out of that particular planet that you need to go drop it off. So there's a hazard pay for it. That I think is the only caveat to simply just tossing things out of the cargo hold, getting your money, and flying away. So it's really up to the group, and maybe it's time for team meeting number 36 or however many of these we've had already.
I mean, out of character, I want to see some goddamn pod racing, but Oscar doesn't know a thing about that, so.
Well, in out of character as well. Where is your pod racer thingy that we have to pick up that hasn't been picked up yet?
See the green skull where Chan died? Got shot in the head.
Yeah,
Guys,
remember the biggest disaster that ever happened?
To pick up when that occurred, yeah.
You remember when this story took a turn for the weird? Yeah, that point.
So,
okay.
it's gone. That won't occur.
Okay.
Well,
Unless somebody else
it's
is nice.
there.
Oh, no. You didn't let me finish. Unless somebody else is nice enough to pick it up for us and deliver it to us, then we are not going to be retrieving it at any time soon.
Okay.
I actually would have expected there might have been a grudge there after everything that happened, to be honest.
Oh, there is.
Okay.
We're just.
I don't think that. Yeah, hold on. I don't think that was ever said that there wasn't.
Oh, okay.
We are just biding our time.
Oh, okay.
We are currently ill-equipped to deal the blow of the grudge. Currently.
Got it. No, I understand.
I think part of that problem is we don't know exactly who to attack.
Yeah, that would.
Who don't we attack?
Well, I didn't say we're not going to attack
let me
somebody.
just zoom out a little bit and see how many red dots we currently have on the map. Yep, nope, that's a lot. That's a lot of red dots. Okay, good. Good.
Well, I mean, yeah, so. All right.
So,
My question was answered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, perhaps we get our first scene of the night where the group has taken off from the station. By the way, for those of you, if you're keeping up with Freddy McFreightface, the ship is fully repaired. There's no other damaged systems. You're good to go. I believe the money was already taken out for that, so it's totally okay.
Sure was.
Hallelujah.
And the other thing that I need to do is we got to move the clock ahead a couple of days. So I think we determined it was going to take 3 days to do that. So it's currently Sunday the 11th of September, as far as the sector calendar goes. Just for everyone's advisement when we're getting to paying for the ship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, which probably is a fortune responsibility at this point to keep up with that kind of stuff.
I'm doing my job. Being the businessman I am.
Are you the Starship Troopers? I'm doing my part. soldier? Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you laughing, even though no one else found it highly amusing.
I was trying to find a good response back, but my brain wasn't working. So
I mean, that's understandable. It's understandable.
Yeah. It's early in the session, I guess.
Yeah, we'll ease into it. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
So in the course of the 3 days, there are probably, besides all the other stuff that happened, you guys have probably been keeping close tabs, and probably Go-Go, this might be something that you would be keeping close tabs on. The status of like inbound and outbound flights out of the system, because obviously that can pose a problem since there was just an attack. And I think that the green light probably goes off like in the middle of the night on the 10th, and so this is like the earliest available opportunity for you guys to get the hell out of here. So what you know by that is there was kind of a lockdown, right? It wasn't enforced like turn around, but it was basically stated that if you're caught in like zones of combat, you're going to be assumed to be an enemy and shot.
Enter at your own risk.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so I think that for that reason, the station has just been a bit overcrowded for the past couple of days, because everybody's like, well, fuck that. I can waste a few days. Like, I can go get really drunk, and by the time I'm sober again, everything will be fine, and I can fly away.
And if not, I'll go get drunk again.
Right, exactly. And I think that you also know that there's gonna be a crowd. Like, you're not gonna be the only ones trying to get the hell out right now. So that's another thing to consider. I don't know if it is a thing to consider, actually, depending on how you feel about it. But I think that there's still a bit of travel time to get out to the actual edge of the system, so you can make the jump, or the drill, as it were. And at what point do we decide where we're going? I think there was mention that we wanted to do 0209 first, but there may be arguments for the other. It's really up to you guys.
Well, I also want to know what the story is that's told to the rest of us upon return from the epic bot battle.
Yeah,
if there's a story that's told, that's what I would like to know.
I don't think Oscar says a word to anyone until he's looked at that goddamn data slate.
I think it would be on Dr. Fisher if Dr. Fisher made any passing comments about what happened.
How scared did Dr. Fisher look upon his return that we would have noticed his frazzled nature?
Or how, like, chest puffed out, head thrown back in pride was Dr. Fisher when he returned.
Like, can he even walk by how enormous his balls feel right now after just annihilating? Yeah. Like, is he just strutting around the ship, or...
I think there's two definite paths you can take here.
Whilst that sounds great, I am psyched, and I don't like being shot at, and an entire place trying to capture me. So I'm still very.
Dr. Fisher's not a fan of the grabby hands, is what he's saying.
No, I do not like grabby hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it's like since you haven't seen him in a day, maybe you go for a checkup. Go.
Or he finds me. I'm in the med bay. I don't think I would have left the med bay. I'm just like rifling through his shit.
That's true.
Remember?
I forgot that you were in there.
I'm like on his computer and stuff.
Yeah. So you walk in, Dr. Fisher, and Gogo's just like on your computer, like going through files and rifling through things.
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Are you all right? Is everything go okay?
Well, I'm alive, but more bounties on my head aren't really a thing I enjoy.
So wanna elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, we managed to meet the people, and they provided us with a data slab for some further information. But just as the exchange was made, then the security terminals then sent out a bounty for our capture.
Damn. So, Oscar got you guys out of there then?
Yes. I mean, I was actually some help in our escape for once, which was more fluke than anything, I'm assuming, but we are alive and safe.
Good. Sorry about the mess. I was.
Yeah, all of your organization is fucked, Fisher.
Yeah, there's shit everywhere.
It's gonna take like the entirety
and...
of the 6 hours to just rearrange things.
It looks how jazz sounds.
That's a great metaphor for Go-Go's like general life. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I was able to figure some things out, though. I maybe help you, going forward.
That's great, Go-Go, but I do at least like a little piece of organization in my filing system to remain.
Yeah, let me just, and you can see her, she's starting to try to, like, tidy up, but in the process,
making it worse.
In the process, data slabs are just falling onto the floor, and
she spills data chips, and they're like color coded, but she just like scoops them all up and throws them in a drawer.
And I just close the drawer. It's like, see, it's all better. It's all fixed. You know what? I'm just gonna go. If you need me, let me know. All right. And she just like sets up and walks out.
Dr. Fisher, what do you do?
I think I just sigh as I have to try and figure out a way to get my files back in order.
We see Dr. Fisher roll up his sleeves and begin combing through the mess. What about everybody else in the pre-flight preparations?
Fortune's probably actually flipping through a magazine, and he stumbles upon an article that states, would you like to become an armorer? Like, because I'm flipping through gun magazines, obviously. And it's just like an advertisement kind of like thing.
Yeah, so it's probably like, have you ever thought about learning how to customize your weaponry? Right?
Yeah,
yeah, and there's probably
and
like...
I probably put the magazine down for a second, and I look over at the crazy modified rifle, I guess, I don't know, thing that I was given, but and I'm like, huh. And then I look back at the magazine and I tear out the page, and I pin it to my corkboard.
Right next to the armory with all the other weapons.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
You literally found like one of the Fallout skill books for guns and bullets.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah,
and started reading it and like got a point.
Well, no. That wasn't what taught me. That starts my learning process.
That's gonna start the training. That's piquing the interest.
Yeah.
I see.
It's like, oh, I haven't thought about it that way before. I could modify my own gun.
Yeah.
And now I've got a place to work on them. Yeah, this'll work.
Why do I have to find new guns when I can just make my guns better?
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally legitimate strategy, in my opinion. Cool. Oscar, I think we all know what your general feel is.
Yep. He's sitting with a pot of coffee.
You just brought the whole... Did you just go to the cafeteria, like, rip the one out of the wall and, like, bring it to your room and just, like, set it up in your room? Or do you have your own, like, portable one?
I don't think he even leaves the cafeteria.
Okay.
I think he just sits down and... Because this isn't, like, private information, but he also doesn't know, like... He knows it's going to destruct after one watch, and he wants to, like, be prepared.
Yeah, you want to dedicate it to memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, I think Oha disengages from the group of you and goes back to her quarters. fairly quickly. And I think that that Chan, you probably like bump into Chan while you're in the dining hall, Oscar, and Chan is probably like, oh, Oscar, I didn't see you. How was your trip? I received the message that you said you were going somewhere, but I had to attend to Miss Gogo and also to the ship. As you know, it was damaged in our last interception that we encountered.
Yes, Jen, that was right of you to do. It's fixed now. Yes?
Oh, yes. The men and women that came, they did quite a good job. I could not have done better myself. They do not understand some of the workings of how the spike drive, as it has been modified by the last engineer here.
Yes.
I had to walk them through some things, but everything turned out okay.
Good. Glad to hear it, Chan. Thank you for double-checking their work.
Yes, I do not think that Miss Gogo appreciated it, though. Every time I was seen with someone else, she would find a way to interject herself into the conversation and escort me away. I was simply just trying to help. Do you know if I have done anything wrong?
Doesn't sound like it, Chan, but I wasn't there.
Okay. I would appreciate it if you, as another companion on this ship, who is not Miss Gogo, if you see anything that I have been mistaken on, if you would correct it, at least in a way in which I can understand.
I will be certain to report back to you, Chan. In the meantime, don't overthink it.
I think about many things. I do not understand what you mean by this. Overthink.
Dwell.
I do
Don't
not live
become
in things. I live in the ship.
Preoccupied.
Oh, okay. Would you like an omelet, Oscar? I have come in to make one for me, and I understand that you... Well, I know how much you like them.
Yeah. That actually sounds great. Yes.
Very well. And I think he, goes over and begins making omelets. And I think you can hear him... He's humming. Roll me a mental effect save.
He's humming.
Yeah, he's just like...
Whoa!
Am
And
I
you die.
rolling against, annoyance? Or
No. Oh, no.
You're rolling against PTSD.
So, Oscar, the smell of, fresh brewed coffee and cooking omelets is, wafting over you and kind of overwhelming your senses a little bit, and you feel yourself begin to, relax, and you feel like you doze off into a dream. May or may not be actually what's happening, but that's how you feel. And this dream all of a sudden becomes very vivid, and you can see that you're on a lush kind of temperate climate world, and you begin to move around, and you move around in the similar way that you do in a dream, where you just kind of think about being somewhere and then you're there, and obviously within your vision. And you can see there are there's a bunch of children, perhaps in their early teens, kind of on this field. It looks like they're playing some sort of sport. There appears to be a large circle in the middle, and there's two at the end. There's these two goals, and they're running up and down, and they're kicking this this spherical ball that's probably about the size of, I don't know,
A soccer ball.
yeah, probably about the size of a soccer ball.
They're playing sport ball.
Yeah, and you recognize this act, but I think that when you do, you're like, oh yeah, so they're playing soccer or whatever you would understand it to be, maybe football. But then you stop yourself and you're like, wait, that doesn't exist. I don't know what that is. And you kind of like, you look again, and now you're in like a slightly different place where you can see that there are these wheeled vehicles that are kind of driving up and down these very busy streets, and you see steam rising out of this vent that might be a sewer system, and then there's these tall concrete and metal buildings that have glass running all up and down the side of them that kind of surround you on all sides. It's very loud. You can hear this obnoxious horn sound constantly. Picture yourself like standing in the middle of Times Square in New York. And there's neon lights kind of flashing everywhere, and you in your brain you understand where you are and what you're doing. But I think that the same thing happens where you're like, oh yeah, so I'm here, and you feel like you have purpose, and you're kind of moving along and walking to and from, and then you're like, wait a second, where is this place? Like, I don't understand this. And you look around, and the language, which was perfectly discernible to you just a moment ago, begins to like kind of morph and change into this unreadable jumble of symbols and words that you don't quite understand. And I think you hear, kind of in the back of your mind as this is going, you hear music playing. And it is to the same tune that Chan was just previously humming. And I think, like, you hear somebody call from behind you, Oscar! Oscar! And when you turn, you wake up, and you can see Chan is, like, over top of you, he's, like, holding your head, and you're lying prone on the ground. And he's, like, he's got one of his hands is, like, supporting your neck, and he's kind of, like, got his other hand on your shoulder, and he's, like, gently shaking you. A look of worry on his face.
Chan, what happened? Why are you... What the hell just happened?
I do not know. You fell out of the chair, Oscar. Do you feel injured? Where does it hurt?
Where did the bad man touch you?
I don't feel injured. There was combat, but none of us so much as received a scratch.
Do you, like, try and get up?
Yeah, I think he would.
Chan holds you down
immediately.
Like, I think you're surprised at how strong Chan holds you down. And I think that as you try and get up, Chan, like, he puts pressure on your shoulder, and
yeah,
I think you get, like, a tinge of pain. Like, he doesn't appear to be applying any force.
No, so, like, he wouldn't fight his way up, but his
Right.
immediate response would be to try and sit upright.
Yeah, and I think Chan's like, you mustn't move your neck. It might be an injury. I've paged Dr. Fisher. He'll be here in a moment. Please tell me, does it hurt anywhere?
No, Chan. I'm... At least I think I'm fine. Let me up. I promise I've been through worse.
Yeah, and I think he's like, no, you mustn't move. Dr. Fisher will see to you. And probably, like, at that time, Dr. Fisher, you come skidding past the door of the cafeteria, comically. And then come running inside.
Chan, what did you page me for? What's wrong? What's going on? Are you okay? Is any weird rashes going on? Are you getting more black? Is your fangs, like, protruding too much?
I'm sorry, fans?
So yeah, you probably notice Oscar on the ground, right? Like, at that moment. And he's like, no, it has nothing to do with my condition, Dr. Fisher. Oscar fell out of his chair, and I was concerned that he may have received an injury to his neck. That is a thing that can happen when one falls from a chair.
Chan, I will instruct you. I'll teach you about Syriac anatomy another time. 1, let me up. 2, fangs.
Yeah, I think he, like, looks at Dr. Fisher. Do you, like, wave him off, Dr. Fisher? Because, like, I think you can see at this point, he's got, like, his arm is, like, holding Oscar down, and, like, he's got him in a C collar, basically, right? With one of his hands.
Chan, you can let him up. If an injury like that was to happen, then they would be in a lot more pain and know about it than...
Oh. How much... Is there a scale of pain? If so, it would be helpful for me to carry possibly a chart. I have been asked many questions about pain lately.
Has Chan let go of me yet?
Yeah, I think that, at the
Okay.
urgence, he's released his grip upon you.
Because, I mean, like, Oscar doesn't want to freak him out, but there's about half a second before he just teleports out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I'll create a chart for you, Chan. I'm at least glad that you are caring.
Yes. Oscar, if you are uninjured, would you like me to continue making your omelet? I'm afraid I will have to start over, as I think I have burnt it.
Don't worry about it. I'm sticking with coffee for now.
Okay. And he just, like, moves away towards the slowly burning omelet on the griddle.
Yeah, Oscar watches him go, and he kind of, like, shakes it off, and he looks back to Fisher. And he's waiting for input on it.